Hey traders, Raghee here, and in this video we're going to recap some of what's happened the last 24 to 48 hours in both the currency and the futures markets, because let's face it, they're very intertwined. I'm going to show you so many different ways to trade these narratives and these symbols, and you're going to find what suits your risk tolerance. That's what it's all about. So we're going to go everywhere from gold to soybeans to the UK election to the FTSE today, and it's going to be awesome. So let's do it. So let's start with gold and even the euro. Now, some of you are probably already familiar with the euro trade that I had on with expectations at between Mario Draghi, anticipation of the FOMC, that we would see movement lower on FXE. Our strike was 108. Today's low, as you can see, was 108.13, and we liquidated those puts into the open. And that was, they weren't quite in the money. They were about 14 cents shy, but it was still a great, I think 60% ROI. So I'll take that. 25 cents is what we paid. Some of the traders paid as little as 22 cents. So that was a nice trade, but not nearly as nice as the gold trade. This one was the bomb, as they say. This one was a fade of the 1300 level on GC, and these kinds of strategies repeat over and over and over again. We dovetail the narratives, we dovetail the catalysts. What will be the reason for these markets to move, and is there a setup in price that allows us to take the trade? And that's what gold allowed us to do. Let's fade 1300. And that turned into some GLD puts, 122 strikes. These were fantastic. And this is a trade that we've seen, gosh, it's gone even lower since. I got out yesterday, I am sad to say, but I've got some traders that had a larger position size than I did. I kind of put a little bit more emphasis on the FXE, but hey, 6 of one, half dozen the other. Great trade. I'm happy that our traders are taking some really nice profits into the weekend. But let me mention something, because we'll talk about it in the premium video. We're going to talk about it in the second session in the chat room today, which is I am now thinking about getting long gold, and I'm shopping those calls with the 67.6 low. What was today's low? 66.7. Gang, this is price movement range 101. You know, I'm going to show you one other scenario that this has worked really well in too, in another pair, just so you see that it's not just about commodities. These are price movement ranges where we try to identify exhaustion levels. We're actually looking at a long position in the New Zealand dollar versus the Canadian dollar. And you'll notice this morning in the chat, I said, hey, let's wait for 662, 96.62 before we get long, or that's the bottom I'm looking for. Today's low, as you can see there, 96.60. That's how accurate this is. Two different markets, gang. Why? It's not magic. It's history. It's tendencies. It's characteristics. It's the repetition of the market if you're willing to be patient. So that's a great example of what I call PMRs, price movement ranges. It's a free tool that I show you guys how to get it for free, and we use it every day in the chat. So I wandered a little bit off the beaten path here with this. So what else? We have gold, FXE, quick show of the PMRs, and oh, soybeans. Let's talk about a little bit about beans here, and then I'm going to wrap this up with the EWU. So beans, we had a 944 short yesterday. Some traders went ahead and hit the eject button with anywhere from a 7 to 3 point profit on this. Not too bad for traders who don't want to deal with today's crop report, which I think by and large has been fine for our short position. We got a second chance entry at 944, went all the way down, as you can see, to 934. It didn't stay there long, right? And this is not going to be something I think a lot of traders necessarily exited on, but I'm not thinking this trade is moving against us in any real way. I think 934, probably 935, these are pretty executable levels if you were proactive with your order entry, but I'm not going to assume everybody wasn't waiting to hit limit orders. Probably didn't have enough time to do that. Okay, but it's still a profitable trade from 944. I'll take an easy 3 to 4 to 5 to 7 points over and over and over again. I was really looking for about a 10 to 11 point downside. I still think we're going to get it. Good viable trade, trend follow, fading the crop report, all sorts of strength up into it. It's very difficult to get heightened expectation on already a very bullish market unless the news is way better than already discounted. Okay, last trade here happening right now, and that's the EWU. Now you might say, well, Raghee, what does MSCI iShares for the UK have to do with Forex trading and futures trading? I'll tell you right now, a lot, because I think as a Forex and futures trader, a lot of these MSCI iShares, you know, around the world, these global ETF, these country ETFs, they lend themselves really well to some of the trades, especially on the currency side. So these are oftentimes parallel stories. And with the fear right now, the uncertainty in the UK with the election, boy, did that whole plan just completely blow up in the face of the Tories, the Conservative Party there with that clever little snap election. Goes to show now 2 referendums, and the very party in the UK that thought they would strengthen their foothold, it blew up in their face now twice. I don't know, maybe they'll learn, but nonetheless, worked for us. I've been waiting for a correction on EWU. We are now long. We've been waiting for this for a while. You know, I'm talking days. We finally got our fill. Okay, so shelf life on this one was great. In other words, we had a heads up of days before this. Park your limit order and wait for the market to come to your front door and knock. And that's where we're at today going into the weekend. All right, that's today's video. Kind of a lap around the world here. Love it. I'll see you all on Monday. Take care.